later on. So press, got it. Okay, so introduction. So my name's Shazna. I'm the Green Neighbourhood Facilitator at Action Together. So I'm based in Rochdale. So my role is just based around green, environmental, climate change kind of projects or activities within Rochdale. We've also got my colleague here, B from Rochdale Borough Council. If you want to introduce yourself, is that okay?
Yeah, so I'm B. I'm the Engagement and Comms Officer at Rochdale Borough Council, specific for climate change. And I've been helping Shasta sort of promote this funding and getting people involved in climate change across the borough.
Brilliant, thank you. So I'm going to start off with my presentation. So if I share my screen, if you let me know if you can see it. Can you see this? Can everybody see this?
Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, so today this presentation is just about Rochdale Borough's climate change fund. So just a brief, I wanted to just kind of briefly talk about what climate change is. So I've got this fancy diagram here, and what's climate change? Climate change is a long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. So us humans are kind of predominantly the main drivers of climate change. So it's mainly through our kind of a daily kind of actions, so such as burning fossil fuels. So when we're burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, gas, that generates greenhouse gas emissions that act like a blanket wrapped around the earth, which kind of traps the sun's heat and raises temperature. So we're getting more severe weather, more kind of heat waves, and that has a negative effect on the natural environment. So, and also our oceans are getting warmer, they're more acidic, and sea levels are rising, mainly due to the Antarctic ice and glaciers melting. Deforestation, clearing land. So not only does that release carbon dioxide, but also less trees means less kind of trees to absorb gases. And then farming, that also contributes towards greenhouse gases. So although us humans are kind of the main kind of drivers of climate change, there are some natural processes that kind of add to climate change, such as kind of decomposing of waste, that also creates some greenhouse gas emissions. So just a quick background, So in July 2019, Rochdale Borough Council declared a climate emergency, which impacts everybody, including those of us who live and work in the Borough of Rochdale, and we do need to take action now. So climate change affects weather, so we're getting more and more severe weather, such as intense storms, increasing flooding events and water shortages. So Rochdale Borough Council have decided to take on responsibility to take meaningful action to kind of reduce carbon emission, alongside preparing the borough for the impacts of a changing climate. So they will work towards ensuring that the council and the borough of Rochdale is carbon neutral by 2038, by taking a leadership role and significant investment and policy initiatives from the government. So the council have allocated some funding towards climate change work, and this £10,000 funding pot is part of that funding that's been allocated, which is kind of more community projects and activities. So I'm going to read out the 17 sustainable development goals that are actually in the climate change strategy. You can get more details of those goals in the actual strategy itself, and you need to meet at least one or more of these goals to can be eligible for this funding. So number one, we've got no poverty, so build the resilience of those most vulnerable to climate change. Zero hunger, so supporting sustainable food production and practices that can withstand climate change. Good health and well-being, relieve the burden of climate change related illness and disease. Sorry, it's just this box keeps coming. I need to go back, don't I? Sorry, I just need to go back. Sorry, it's just jumped to a slide. Quality education, build knowledge and skills in sustainability, gender equality, empower women and girls to support economic growth and development. So number 6 is, I can't even see number 6, sorry. Clean water and sanitation. So that's managing demand for water and threats to water security resulting from climate change. Affordable and clean energy, reduce use of fossil fuels that are harmful to the environment. Decent work and economic growth, support clean and green economic growth. Industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce the intensity of carbon emissions from the industry sector. So number 10 is reduce inequalities, advance equal opportunity and reduce inequality of outcomes in addressing climate change. Sustainable cities and communities, make urban areas cleaner, greener and with climate responsive infrastructure. So number 12, responsible consumption on production, protect the loss of scarce resources through prevention, reduction, recycling and reuse. Climate action, raise awareness to make it easy to identify and respond to the impact of climate change. Life below water, protect areas for aquatic biodiversity. Life on land, protect and restore vital ecosystems and species. Peace, justice and strong institutions, so mobilize change through effective participation and governance. And number 17, partnership for the goals. So deliver sustainable goals through cooperation, finance and data. So you can get more details of these 17 goals from the Rochdale Borough climate strategy. And as I said, you've got to meet at least one of those criteria to be eligible for the funding. So a couple of things you need to consider before applying. So as I said previously, please do read the Rochdale Borough Council's climate change strategy and delivery plan. It is a 49-page document, but it's got plenty of information, lots of interesting kind of facts and things that you can kind of get yourself familiar with. And please also read our guidance notes. And again, I'll go through the guidance notes shortly. So the actual application process. So the full funding amount is £10,000. And organisations can apply for between 500 and 1,500. The actual funding is actually live currently. So and our deadline is on the 21st of November. Once you've completed the form, you can send it to Hayley on hayley.tomlinson@actiontogether.org.uk. And then once that's been submitted, it will go to a panel of volunteers who are kind of from different areas of different organisations who are very experienced and know what they're looking for. We do aim to make a decision within 6 weeks, and if for any reason your application is unsuccessful, we will kind of give you feedback and support you into kind of looking at other pots of funding, or is there anything else you could do to make your application successful. And again, if you need any support from me or any questions or any guidance, or if you even want me to have a look at your application before you submit, you can email me on shajna.begum@actiontogether.org.uk. So what I'm going to do now, just before we get to questions, I will show you Rochdale's climate change strategy. Go back to sharing screen. Can everybody see this? Great. So as I said, it is a 49-page document, so I won't go through it all today. But there's plenty of information in there, lots and lots of interesting stuff that's kind of going on. It kind of goes through what climate change is, what's causing it, and what Rochdale's plan is, and how they kind of aim to kind of reach their goals. You'll find all the sustainable goals on, I think it's page 34 onwards. Just try and get to page 34. So yeah, so you'll find all our sustainable goals here and in more detail. So if you have a quick look at that, you should be kind of getting a more clearer idea of what the expectations are and what our panel's looking for when they're looking at your application form. So I'm going to go on to show you the guidance notes now. Can everybody see this? Brilliant. Great. So yeah, so please do, again, before you apply, read through our guidance notes. It'll tell you everything that we're kind of looking at. So the aims, the priorities. Again, there's more, it tells you more in detail about the priorities that we're looking at. And then it goes on to even what the things that we were kind of connect. So are you raising awareness? Are you looking to educate people? Are you prioritizing diversity and inclusion? Is there active participation, communications? And then it tells you who can apply for the grant. So the grant amount is between 500 and 1500. So people that can apply are usually from the VCFCE group. And also you've got to be a member of Action Together. So if you're not a member, please do register. You can go on our website and then you can just sign up. It's free and it's quite quick and easy. And then yeah, so once you've completed your form, if you send it to Hayley, and then it tells you a little bit about the funding panel process. So again, it's a group of volunteers from different organisations who come together and look through your application and make that decision. So once you're successful, we will let you know through email, and then you'll be sent a grant agreement, and we'll ask for your bank details as well as some of kind of your governing kind of documents such as your insurance, your safeguarding policies. Please do send them back to us as soon as possible, because delaying that will kind of delay kind of the payments itself. So once we've received all your documents, we do aim to send the payment through within 2 weeks. And again, if for any reason you are unsuccessful, we will offer a feedback. And we will support you into either applying for additional funding or looking for funding elsewhere, or even kind of improving your application to resubmit again. And then the application form. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen again and I'll show you the application form. The guidance notes. I'm just trying to find it. There we go. Can everybody see that? Okay. So the application form itself is quite simple, quite straightforward, really. So we've got section 1 where it's just about yourself, your organisation. So your name, your address, your contact details. Where in Rochdale are you based? And then some of the documents that we may ask you for. So again, if you're not a member, please do register. And then section 2 is about your project. So again, it's the 17 kind of the goals that we'll be looking at. So you just tick whichever one's kind of relevant to your project. Give your project a name. And then in just this bit, it's just a summary of kind of what your project is and how you will kind of use the grant funding, really. So we don't want lots and lots of details. I mean, it's just asking for a maximum of 500 words, really. And then how many people are you hoping to kind of reach out to? And in this bit where it says the breakdown of how you will spend the grant money, please try and put in as much detail as you can and just kind of break down the cost so then our panel know exactly where the funding is going and how it's going to be spent. Section 3 is about your supporting documents. So we will ask for these documents if you are successful. So please do have them at hand. And then you've got your declaration on section 4. So that's just the lead person that signs it, and then the senior contact for the organisation. And I think that's about it, really. Has anybody got any questions?